Bam! There you go. There you go, guys. I'll show you the color. I tell you, guys, I've been cold. I had to put some more clothes on. This is the remelt from Shiny with Pink Lady bottom. The bottom is Pink Lady color. Yep, it's got a slight pearlish pink to it. That's what Pink Lady. Pink Lady is pink with one drop, with just a little bit of pearl powder in it. So it's a pearl color with a pink tint to it. You could almost say it was a pinkish money milk. People call it monkey milk. Not money milk. That's a good one too. Monkey milk. Instead of having that blue tint to it, it's got a pink tint to it. Alright, so the bottom is Pink Lady, top is a remelt blue. I've been playing with some of my leftovers, guys, last week, and I'm fishing with them now. So there you go. Let's see if we can catch a couple more with it. What do y'all think? I see 3. I missed looking. I got my sensitivity turned way up. Again, people ask me all the time about it. I'm constantly doing this. I turned it up because I was throwing out there 50, 55 foot. And it was harder to see my bait. So I can see my bait falling right there. I threw a little short. It's going to hit him in the head. I don't like doing that, but I'm going to let it fall. It takes forever to get there anyway. I'm fishing 16, 17 foot. See, the boat keeps moving. The wind's pushing me around. Alright, I don't see my bait. It's on the bottom somewhere down there. I'm going to pop it one time. That's what I'm doing. Just popping it and I'm reeling it slow. Now this is a 1/16. I can reel it slow and it'll stay down there. That 1/8 I have to stop every now and then and let it fall again. The heavier your weight is, the faster you got to move it if you go fish it close to the bottom but not on the bottom, right? So I'm trying to fish it close to the bottom, but I don't want it on the bottom. I don't see it. I done lost it. That's why I had my sensitivity turned up, and I got my color gain on 82%. The higher you have your color gain, the easier it is for stuff to show up too. It makes stuff brighter. It's easier to get a little bit of ghost tree with it stuff. I got a little bit of ghost tree right there, but not enough to hurt me. So I'm looking around now for fish. I'm turning this handle and I'm looking around. Some of y'all watch all the time right here. See them little tiny up like tombstones? Those are fish. They're just running the bottom. Sometimes you'll catch them off the bottom as a little shad. Let me kick it out here a little further. There's a cool little shad right there. That little flickering shad. If you find the food, you'll find the fish. They're scattered through here. There's one there off the bottom right here. I don't know, he's like a pretty good sized fish. But you can see there's some scattered ones. There's a white perch. Little tiny ones there. So I'm just looking around. If I don't see anything, I just move the boat another 15, 20 feet and I start looking again, and I just keep moving the boat till I find something I want to throw at. You got to cover a lot of ground. This time of year, they're just scattered and they're just moving around. They're not sitting anywhere at no one period of time. They could be anywhere. I was catching them above the bridge a while ago. There's some in the channel. I'm just sitting here because y'all can see the wind's coming out there. I'm trying to hide from the wind. All right, guys, if my camera dies, I'm on my last battery. They don't like this cold air, and I got my coat wrapped around it. I'm trying to keep it warm as I can. I got all my clothes on, got the camera sticking out of my clothes. But when you come to the top flopping like that for, you gonna come on out? He was 50 feet out there, guys, so I didn't worry him out the time I got him in here. One thing I catch him that far off from the boat, I got my depth finder sitting on 60 feet. So if they're 55 feet, I throw at them, and I like them at about 35 to 45. I don't want them close to me. He's about 10 inches. You see the color there now? See the blue on the top of it? Water visibility right here now is about 1.5 to 2 foot. We've had a lot of rain. Up where I was at the bridge hall ago, it's about 1 foot because I checked it by dropping the bait in the water. It's a little bit better here. The further you come this way, it's clearing some. Yeah, it's not that far, guys. Half a mile. Yeah, I know. I can see this bait down about 8-10 inches. And it disappears. All right. Let's see if we can catch a few more in this bait. They seem to like it. When I can find some fish to throw at. Like I said, they're kicking along, moving along. I don't see any now. So I just threw at those over there in front of me. So what? Oh, there might be a couple right there. There'll be one right there. He's about 25, 30 feet. It's either a fish or could be a little stump, but we'll find out. I'm gonna throw at him. All right. Been a little bit. I'm constantly throwing at fish. You just gotta find one that's interested in biting you. That's all you gotta do. He's a digging. I don't think he's that big. I think he thinks he is. Well, that's a bass. See, I know why he's fighting so hard now. Why he was digging. It's a bass. Makes about, I don't know. I've caught 3 or 4 this morning. Afternoon now. When I say afternoon, I didn't leave my house till 12 o'clock. 12:30. Something like that. Alright. There's a spotted bass. I feel his little teeth. He hooked good. He about 11 inches. Bam. This night he got some size to him. He come pretty close to the boat. With 2 of them following it. I just let it sit there for a second, and they looked at it for a little bit, like, nah, I'm not going to bite it. I said, okay. I just let it sit there, and I picked it up and dropped it again, and this one rolled up and grabbed it. Sometimes you just got to entice him. He was like, oh, I figured he was a nice one. He looked like he's a pretty good one. Oh, that's a pig. He's a good 11.5, ain't he, guys? I've caught a lot of little fish lately, but I have caught some nice ones amongst them. I caught a 15-inch one yesterday, a 14.5 yesterday. Look how fat that, look how thick he is this way. Good gosh, look at that. That's a pig. He's probably 11.5, 11.75. He keeps growing like that, he's gonna be a 2-pounder next year. He's fat, he's been eating good. That's what got him in trouble, right? That's what got him in trouble. He likes to eat. Bam. They're not easy to catch today, guys. I'm telling you. Like I say, we've had these cold nights, rain and cold nights, and water temperature drop. End of this week, it's gonna get cold too. I don't know if they know that's coming or not. The fish, they say animals do. The fish know it's coming. Yeah, a cold front's gonna. All right, guys. I was talking about how cold it's been and how cold it's gonna be. My camera died. It doesn't like this cold weather. I got one of the batteries out of the charger. I got them carry a charger with me in a power pack. All right. Let's see if we can catch another one, and we'll end this video, guys. This is just a remelt color that I used. Like I said, I used some remelt pink lady and some remelt shiny. The color called shiny, which is a blue back with a pearl belly, and the belly is pearl, mostly glitter. As you can see, it's working good. I was trying to come up with some other things to do with these remelt colors. I'm trying to spot the fish. Like, see these 2 marks right here? That's what I just tried to throw at. They're 55 feet away. I don't see my bait. But I got to try to line up with those. That's a long ways to cast to hit a fish in the head, isn't it? Well, you do it enough, you get pretty decent at it. I usually within 2 or 3 casts can get it there. Most of the time, the first cast. Well, that's why I went to this heavier weight too. I'm using 1/16 on the one rod, and the other rod I'm using this 1/8 ounce because I can throw it that far. All right. I don't see it that far. It's only reading about 3 foot probably. Oh, I'm right here. I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close to him. So let's see if they're paying attention to it. But it's cool today. It's around 40 degrees. The wind's blowing, and I'm just trying to hide from the wind and catch a fish or 2. And I've done good. I've caught some fish. It just hasn't been easy. Just 1, 2, one here, one there. There you go. Bam. And I'm just reeling it back across the bottom, letting it fall once in a while to the bottom, reeling it back up, reeling it slow. That's all I'm doing. And this wasn't the fish that I showed you. This fish was closer to the boat. I'll go ahead and reel it back almost to the boat, even if I don't see any fish, because the fish are moving a lot, and one could come by and show up with, you know, and grab the bait that you didn't even see. I didn't see this fish, but they're moving around here enough that you got a good chance. You could just sit here and fan cast, you know, watch your down imaging. I was fishing right here a couple days ago with a fella, and he didn't have live scope. And I talked to him earlier, said he wasn't catching anything. I said, well, look, they're on the bottom. And he said, I have no way of seeing them. I said, look when you're down imaging. So he started fooling around. He said, yeah, I see some little marks right on the bottom once in a while. I said, yeah, them little, just a little roughness. He said, yeah. And I said, once in a while I see one off the bottom. I said, yeah. Sometimes they'll get up a foot off the bottom or two and kick around. The white perch do that a lot too. And I said, just start fan casting. And he started catching fish. He didn't have a live scope. Every once in a while he'd look, hey, I got another one. He was like right there, well, yeah, you got another one. And that was it. He said, I ain't never caught him like this on the bottom. He said, because I never could see him. I said, well, I understand. The live scope does make it easier to find them. Now, somebody had told me that has a live scope. They said, the other day I was talking to him, they said, Dennis, even with a live scope, they're hard to see. Yeah, they are. If you don't know what you're doing, you just look at through them and say, that's a rough bottom, wouldn't you? But look, guys, wouldn't you? There's 4 fish. See, that one's easy to see. Right? See them little bumps? There's one, there's one, there's one. A lot of them are white perch. A lot of them I throw at. If they all come up like a flock of birds, I reel it on past them. They're white perch. And I'm spinning my hand over here, guys, looking around. That's what I'm doing. That's a stump on the bottom. There's a couple right there. They're really small, or they're closer to the bottom, or they're in a low spot. And that's why that time, see, it's enough fish here. That's why I'm casting out there and just reeling them back. All right? Because there's enough scattered around, moving around, that while you're reeling it back, you got a chance of catching something. You know, catching a fish that way. All right? It seemed like there's quite a few right here. They look kind of small, though. That's at 50 feet, so I'm going to shoot that way. All right? I'm going to let it go to the bottom. That's why I'm using a heavier weight, because it'll go on down to the bottom. And I'm going to reel it back just like I showed you in that last fish. It's almost on the bottom. I can see it this time. It's about 58 foot. Now, it is hit bottom. I'm just going to pop it like that a little bit, and now I'm just going to reel it slow. All right? And I'm reeling back pretty close to a couple of those marks I just showed y'all. I seen one of them move. There's 2 of them moved. He didn't hit me. I see him falling it right there. You see, a lot of them will fall it and won't hit you. Oh, that and smack that'd be messed it. Wow. See, a lot of them do that too. When you say they messed it, I think they wanted to mess it. I think a lot of times they just go up and grab it like this, don't they? Is that? I don't think that thing's real. And they grab it and go, nope. Yeah, they just checking it out. All right, guys, I threw back at those I just showed you. I got one of them coming here. See him coming on the screen right there? Yeah, he was out there 55 foot. He's going to be wore at time he gets here. Now, this rod I have a little heavier line on. It's 6 on this rod, and it's a heavier rod. It's a medium light. It's not a light action. My other rods are light action. This rod, you could put 6 or 8 pounds on it and go on. I'd use this rod for bass fishing. But when I bass fish, guys, I bass fish with 6 and 8 pounds. A lot. I've won tournaments on Smith Mountain Lake. Some of y'all from that area, you know that water is clear up there in the summertime. And I was fishing a tournament up one time in June, and I won it. And some of the guys were asking me later on, the fish were hard to catch today. You had a limit. It's a 2-day tournament. I had a limit both days. I had mostly smallmouth. And they were like, how was you catching all those fish? That's a nice fish, guys. He's about 10 and a half. And I said, you know what? If I tell you, you're not going to believe me, but I was using 4-pound test. And I had my crappie fishing rod, one of the crappie fishing rods, 4-pound test on it. I was using a 1/16 ounce slider head. Y'all know what a slider head is. And I was using a slider worm, Charlie Brewer slider worm, and I was using 4-inch power worms. Pumpkin seed color. You can't beat that pumpkin seed colored power worms, or smoke color. They made a smoke color too. And I was getting on rocky points, getting about 16 foot, throwing it up on the rocky points. This was in June, and working it ever so slow down that point. Was I catching a bunch of fish? No. Did I have some fish break my line? Yeah. Did I catch enough to win a tournament? Yeah. But sometimes when the fishing's tough, especially bass fishing in clear water, you go to lighter line. And I'm a believer in crappie fishing too. Don't use any heavy line you have to use. 4 and 6. Most people I talk to, we talked about this. I made this comment the other night. I told y'all to give me some feedback. Most of y'all came back and said 4 and 6, 4 and 6. Some of you said 8, but I'm fishing brush. I'm fishing a real thin line. The bigger the line is, the harder it is to come off a spool with a light weight. Now you could put a 1/4 ounce weight on, yeah, like it's 1/8 ounce weight. I can wing it on this rod, but I can tell you, I can put a 1/16 on here or 1/32 with this 6, and I can't throw it as far. That makes sense. But I can take that 1/48 and put it on that rod there with 2-pound test and throw it a long ways. So that's why I have one rod with 2-pound test. I use it mostly for 1/32, 1/48, and I use it for open water fishing some. And have I had 2-pound test broke a couple times? Yes, I have. Most time it's bass, but I've had a couple of crappie. I know where crappie broke it, and then went around a dock post or something. So yeah, you take a chance when you're using lighter line, but when I skip under docks, I can skip further that 2-pound test. The line comes off the reel easier, so the bait skips further. If that makes sense to you. So find what works for you. Match your line size to what you're doing. All right. If I'm fishing Lake Fork and all them standing trees, I'm not using 2-pound test. I can tell you that now. I've tried braid. I don't mind braid. It's okay. I don't like the sound of it going through the rod. But braid, like 12-pound, 15-pound braid would probably be the thing to use in them standing trees, or at least 8-pound test. I would think maybe 10, right? Because them crappie in those trees, they ain't going to tangle around a limb. And you need a little bit of extra effort to pull them off of it, don't you? Match your line to what you're doing, guys. If you're fishing open water, you can get by with a 4-pound test. No problem. Bam. Oh, you're a decent one. Picked him up, guys. All I can see was the head of the jig, so I know he had that one pretty good, didn't he? He's right 10 inches. Hey, for the 6th day of Christmas, I'll take that. There you go, guys. I tell you what, this color's working really good, isn't it? Catching some fish on it. Doing pretty good. Remelt top, pink lady bottom. Alright guys, as I said, leave your comments on what you think about line size. I done that the other day and I got some good feedback. It's interesting what some of y'all think and what you use and what you're doing. And what style of fishing you're doing makes a difference. A huge difference. Watercolor. If you're fishing stain water, clear water. If you're fishing real clear water, it can make a huge difference. And a lot of y'all tell me you're using fluorescent yellow line. I never was I was raised trout fishing, guys, in the mountains. I can tell you trout fishing, if you're using that fluorescent yellow and somebody's using clear 2-pound, if you go bigger than 2, bigger than 4, you're not going to catch any trout in that clear water. But so that's why I like the light line and the clear line. Some of y'all say y'all use it, no problem. Caps and Coleman, they have won a lot of stuff. Y'all keep up with the crappie fishing tournaments. They're on Crappie Connection talking about line color and stuff. Go watch what they say about that. Alright guys, that's interesting because they won a lot of stuff. You listen to some of these pros and they put a lot of information on from the pros talking about fishing line and stuff. Y'all check it out. Appreciate y'all guys. It's interesting sometimes from the difference from one person to another. Like the color orange. I hear guys talking about orange. Orange is not great for me. Orange is the last color in the world I'd want in my boat. But I can tell you this. I've caught them on orange. It just ain't gray here because those times the water's so clear. Right? Clear. But I know some of y'all guys love orange. So that means it's working for you. That's great. The orange tail baits. Hey, I had no problem catching fish with those though. I think that's just enough to orange to say, hey, look at me. Here I are. Appreciate y'all guys. Dennis, see you next time.